Welcome to What Would It Cost? Today we're here with Laura Costa, Danielle Levy, and Sue McClay. And these are three awesome young female realtors that are taking their industry by storm. And we're extremely excited to be sitting down with them.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks, guys. So excited to be here.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for taking time. We know how busy you guys are, with the crazy market again. So tell us a bit about yourselves before we get into it.
Sure. So as Nick mentioned, my name's Laura Costa. I've been a realtor for 9 years now with Royal LePage. And my niche market is working with first-time buyers.
Love it.
Yeah.
My name is Danielle Levy, and I am the team leader for Levy Real Estate Group. And I work everywhere in the real estate industry. So help first-time home buyers, investors. Yeah.
Very cool.
My name is Sue. I've been a realtor for coming up on 3 years now. I work again with Royal LePage, but with the Tyler McClay Realty Group. My brother, family's been in the business for 50 plus years, so very lucky to have them and work alongside them, and very happy to be here today.
Awesome. Love that.
Very cool.
So yeah, just to get right into it, I love that you brought up niche. So I'd love to hear your opinions on what your different niches are right now, because I know you love the first-time home buyers. You love anybody that's looking to buy. Yes. I know you've been really going hard with the pre-construction, so I'd love to hear your different opinions on that.
So, I think when every realtor starts in the industry, I think probably the most common thing is we start to work with people who we know, friends and family, or, referrals, and they are people who are looking to buy for the first time. So I feel like I really honed in on that when I started, and I never stopped because a lot of people just kept referring their first-time buyer friends to me, right? So I obviously work with everyone and anyone, but first-time buyers is my niche, and I've really grown a love for that market because it's like it's like that first journey of getting into the market. It's really exciting. It's scary. It's nerve-wracking. I've gotten really skilled at guiding people and like being excited and making the process fun. So I feel like that's just a little bit about like that niche. But yeah, it's such I think a lucrative field. And, especially now with the changing market, how difficult it is for buyers to get in. I'm like all about getting creative and changing that mindset around how to do it.
Exactly. Because I think there's a lot of like fear mongering going on around that. And it's just awesome to see now too, because we were doing pre-approvals from 2 years ago where clients are like, can I buy this? No, can I buy that? And you're stuck because everything's over $1 million. Yeah. You have to put the 20% down. So I think we're really going to see a big change, and that's awesome that, you're out there helping guide them, because everybody's scared. Yeah. Whether there's fear mongering or not, it's your biggest investment of your life.
Yeah. And I mean, I have a soft spot for buyers. I feel like all realtors do. It's like we want people to get in the market. It's the way to build wealth, and it's just something so important, I think, right? So
absolutely.
Happy to be sharing that.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's what we do. We help people build real estate portfolios. So with the market change, I've been working with mainly investors and tenants and landlords, because the market's different now. Like rentals are really high. So I've been helping a lot of like my tenant clients and landlords as well. They're getting the best rents, and investors, because prices, you can negotiate anything now. Like right now, the buyers have the power. So for me, that's like my main focus. And I've turned down like a lot of listings because a lot of people are really stubborn in terms of price. So that's, yeah.
I mean, I couldn't agree more. I think to add and build on all of that, when I first got started, I loved working with first-time buyers. It's still like my bread and butter, because it's just a beautiful process, right? Yeah. And you're really a part of the education process and helping them get from point A to point B and get into the market. I also, like you guys mentioned, big on pre-construction. I'm a big fan because that's how I got my start in real estate and how I first broke into the market. So I think it's a great option for people. And some people have kind of the wrong idea of what it means and what it is to buy pre-construction. So I think it's a great market for a lot of people. At the same time, similar to Danielle, I kind of help everybody. I focus a lot on Vaughan and Toronto. So I'm working with investors, I'm working with families. Families is another great niche for me, because it's, again, a beautiful process. Watching families find a home and be like that matchmaker for them is just so much fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember talking to you originally in regards to how you really like the program on the rollout of the payment structure. Absolutely. For first-time home buyers to be entering into the market, and through that pre-construction vessel, right? Because it's allows fantastic. You to really build out a finance strategy that doesn't like hit you all up front with a big lump sum of money you got to go in with, right?
Exactly. I think for a lot of young people to say, hey, I'm going to need $250,000 from you is really overwhelming, right? Or whatever that denomination is for their down payment. It's a little bit easier and kind of gives them guidance of like, okay, you have X amount of months to save $10,000, right? It's kind of giving them a roadmap of how to save and little goals, right? Like short-term goals to then reach their long-term goal of owning a property.
Right.
For me, it was overwhelming, like buying a property for my first property that I purchased, and then having that deposit structure laid out that way. It was like, okay, once you committed to it, it's like, okay, I'm not going to buy this 10th sweater from Zara. I have a deposit to make in 6 months, so I got to save, right? Like it really makes you stick to those goals.
Forced savings.
Exactly.
I like the projects that are like 3 to 4 years max.
Yeah.
Like right now I'm a little bit scared of pre-construction because of the cancellations of the projects and the builders coming out with announcements saying that we don't want you to assign.
Yeah.
So right now it's definitely a fear, but it's a great option for a lot of people who don't have the down payment right away.
Right.
Yeah. I've always pushed pre-construction.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
And to Danielle's point, like I think it's right now especially, it's
Weird
really
times.
important to look at like the builder and
All that
all
stuff.
of those things and be a little more picky on who you're
Right. Make sure
investing
they
with.
have that track record for
Exactly.
Yeah, there's been nightmare situations where it's an unknown builder and then they come to you after like 3 years. They're like, we need more deposits. And then, you know, with inflation, you have your money sitting with these builders and it's like a waste.
Right.
All those years, and they're like, okay, then take your deposits back.
But I love what you said, Danielle, about refusing listings, because I feel like that comes with being a valuable realtor. I think that's so necessary right now, is doing the due diligence with the pre-con, you know, saying no to listings that are overpriced, because I think we can get wrapped up in wanting the listings and advertising and stuff like that. But then you're not doing your clients a service if it's, you know, things are sitting there and not getting the attention they deserve, or you know what I mean? I just think it's like really crucial right now to be that valuable realtor,
And
more so than ever.
You're
right?
stigmatizing the property. If you're taking a listing at a price that doesn't make sense, it makes the house look bad and it makes your brand look bad. So for me, I'd rather turn it down.
Yeah.
And I think ultimately, if it is a motivated seller, it's a easy way to leave money on the table, because then it's price reduction after price reduction after price reduction. When ultimately, if you started at a good price the first time, you could have ended up with a higher sold price.
Well, I'm hearing there's a lot of extensions as well.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys have seen that a lot. So
Yeah, I've seen that because it's on both ends. The buyer wants to come up with that money.
yes.
And also they also don't want to get sued for not closing. But on the seller's side, they don't want to go through that lawsuit. They're like, for example, we sold it for $1 million. Now that we've waited so long, maybe we're going to sell for 800,000. What are you doing? You're going to go after that 200K. It's going to take forever. You got legal fees. They got legal fees. So I think everybody's now like working together, saying, okay, we'll give you the extension, come up with that 200 grand, or just try to figure out whatever the best way is possible.
Because ultimately, everyone wants to see the deal go through.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone's kind of on the same team in those situations. It's just a matter of making the pieces fit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You guys, all three of you guys are awesome on your social media. You guys
Thank
are
you.
young,
Thank you.
you broke into the market, and you're really, really, like I said on the intro, kicking butt. And you see that from the outside. It's been amazing and a pleasure to work with you guys on the financing side of things. But tell us a little bit more about how you guys are, or why and how you guys are so active on your socials and what that does for your business and that authenticity that we see come through the screen. That's the real them. That's the real them. We can vouch for it. We know them in real life and on social media, and how that's worked for you, and the controversies and the funny things that happen when people sliding in your DMs and not being very professional, and you know, and then how, you know, just that continues to help grow your business and help guide you through the industry. Just run with it.
Yeah, I love that. First of all, you brought up the authenticity piece, because for me that is massive. It's like I just show up as myself, and I don't just showcase all the business I'm doing. I don't think that's valuable to anybody. I think it's great to have that, obviously, and at the same time, I'm just being myself, right? And that allows me to stay connected with my network very well. And that's what I think social media, for me anyway, is the priority. Is I'm staying connected. It's another platform to connect, right? And engage. So that's like a priority for me. But what it's done for my business, I can't give you like dollar amounts of how much business I've done out of it, but I can tell you, I've had people reach out to me after 10 years of not speaking to me, but they knew me from school, or, you know, they knew me through someone, and they're like, I want to work with you because of how you show up. Like you know what I mean? Or people who have left their realtors because they just felt more of a vibe with me just from seeing me online. So I think that there's a benefit to really leveraging who you are and making that connection piece a priority. And it's great to get business. That's not why I do it. I do it again as that connection medium, but the business comes. So it's cool.
Yeah, real estate's all about relationships. So with me, when I'm on my socials, I'm usually there with my hair in a bun, no makeup. This is who I am, and I'll talk about what I want to talk about, my own opinions. What it's done for my business, I walk down the streets of Toronto and people know who I am. Every deal that I've done, people are like, I watch your stuff. I learned so much from you. And people do hire me. They're like, I'd rather work with you than my realtor because you're so honest. So that's how I conduct my business. Honesty, integrity. So it's helped me evolve, and I've been in the business less than 10 years, right? Like an actual realtor compared to realtors that have been in the business for 20 years and I'm more noticed than they are.
Right.
So with social media evolving in every business, it's necessary.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. And I couldn't agree more with everything you guys already said. But to add to it, like the connection piece is huge, having that authenticity on your page, because again, I get people reaching out saying, hey, like I didn't really connect with my previous realtor. We weren't clicking. Something was off. I want to work with you. And I get those messages more than anything else.
Yeah.
It's like a reality show.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They think that they know who you are. They know about my relationships.
Yeah.
They want to know how my dinner went on my best friend's birthday. I was outside Myth and I saw a hostess there and she's like, it's so funny. I recognize the voice because my boyfriend was watching your video and it was you. So it reaches everybody.
Yeah, the reach is insane.
There's like,
Oh, yeah.
there's some negative attraction too of being so appealing online, right?
absolutely.
But it's like, it's fun. It's fun to actually notice like what comes of things like that too, right?
So we're gonna take a quick break and then we're gonna talk about the DMs and the safety they have to go through when showing these properties. We'll be right back.
Escaping the concrete jungle to cottage country is high on the wish list for many Canadians. SparkFinancialGroup.ca is here to help you secure the best rate on your mortgage for a waterfront home or countryside dwelling. Spark Financial Group, where finance creates freedom.
Welcome back to What Would It Cost? We're here with Laura Costa, Danielle Levy, and Sue McClay.
Yeah, so right before we went to the break, we were talking about sliding in the DMs and the social media strategy. And you guys are three young, pretty realtors. Your industry is trending. Our industry is trending in pop culture right now, given shows like Selling Sunset and a few other networks that have, shows very relative to what's going on in pop culture on an overall. So with that being said, you guys are at the forefront of that in the Toronto market, and you're very loud on your socials. We were talking about being authentic and pretty girls. Yeah. How do you deal with all the traffic that comes through? And let's start maybe with the more negative ones. That
I was going to say, to touch on your point, like Selling Sunset, like it's real estate is definitely glamorized in the media. Right? Sure. Especially right now. And I call social media kind of like the necessary evil, because we have to be out there. You have to be putting yourself out there. Yeah. Right? It's like a digital resume. And people look you up. They want to see you're active and you're social and all that stuff. Right. But at the same time, there's a lot of elements that I didn't know were going to be part of it that I didn't necessarily know I was signing up for, but are definitely a huge part of it. Of negative comments, hate comments, people sending you mean messages. And of course, you don't let it get to you. You have to have a very thick skin, but it's something that it's definitely there. Like I know you guys have experienced it too.
For sure.
Social media is definitely not for the weak.
No.
For the faint of heart.
It's not all positive. It's actually like 70% negative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you can't handle that, you shouldn't be on socials.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, we kind of want to talk about the safety too behind it, because as females, the men don't really experience what we experience in this industry.
I think with females, the first thing people attack is your looks.
Yes.
Or, being a female, there's a lot of comments about your body, the way you look, the this, the that.
They get really
what you're
personal.
Wearing, right? I get comments about what I'm wearing more than I do about questions about real estate. Yeah. Sometimes, depending on whatever it is. So.
Yeah, people would comment, hey, Danielle, like, you've gained some weight. I'm like, I know. Thanks for noticing.
You want to buy a house?
I've been going to the gym.
More to love.
Yeah.
But legit, I think for me anyway, it's I keep it like really real in terms of I know that those things are not about me. Truly, people who operate like that, they're going through whatever they're going through. So I really take it with a grain of salt. Like whatever people want to say, I'm kind of like, thank you for the engagement. I just literally leave it really platonic and great, because I've gotten really good at not taking things personally, because I really do believe that like how people operate is on them. It's not, I'm going to attract people who love me, for the most part, that's what happens.
Yeah.
So the stuff that comes with it is, you know, there's some creeps, there's those sugar daddies. It's like, you know, a lot of that going on. Sometimes we wonder, like, should we just do a little switch of career here? Kidding.
She's totally joking.
Kidding. But you know what I mean? It happens, right? It's
The
just like,
offers
okay.
come through,
The offers come through.
Right? So for the most part, it's like restrict, block, report, whatever it is, and move on, right? And all the hate comments and all the negativity, it's kind of like, I just take it with like, okay, I must be doing something right because I'm not hiding in the shadows.
I
either.
engage in it.
Yeah,
I engage in it. I just reply back. I never delete or block anyone because even bad publicity is good publicity,
Exactly.
you know?
Yeah.
So my videos will go viral no matter what. And I'm still getting clients.
But you keep the sugar daddies? That's what I mean.
Oh.
That's what I meant.
They might eventually buy a house.
Hold on, I want to hear more about this. Kidding.
I mean, I don't engage with them. I don't really, like, I try not to, like, fuel the fire, so to say. Like, I just ignore it. I don't let it get to me because it's super important. Like, I don't know you. You've never met me. You know nothing about me. So your negative comment on my video doesn't even scratch the surface. But with that said, like, I am super careful about what I'm posting. I try not to post in real time, which is something I've learned because there's some crazy people out there that, you know, there's a lot of landmark buildings in Toronto.
Right.
If I'm at my office, you just can never be too safe. So I try to like implement as many safety aspects as possible.
Yeah.
Just to be extra cautious.
Like one of the measures for me is if I'm going to show homes with people I've never met, or, you know, like I'm definitely very adamant about, you know, sending that message out to 3 people. Like, this is where I'm going to be. You know what I mean? Like, I definitely do that. My brokerage knows where I'm at. Yeah. You know, some of my close girlfriends, I'll be like, this is where I'm at. If I don't call you at this time, just, you know, maybe start the search party or whatever, you know?
Absolutely. And what are some tips you have for some other female realtors or even just female entrepreneurs that are, you know, they're facing what you guys are facing?
I can tell you based on my story that recently I had to open a case with the cops and an investigator because some guy threatened to rape me and kill me. Now for certain showings, I'll go with like a male colleague. Everyone knows where I am at all times. I also got one of those... what are they called?
The air tag?
The air tags. And I keep it on me. Smart. And everyone knows where I am at all times. So I feel like it's important to at least show up with someone if you're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's what I do now.
I always say trust your gut. Like, I never feel bad. If I get a weird feeling, I'm not going to feel bad for having a guy come along with me or, you know, anything like that. Because usually intuition is right. But I mean, like, for me, I always tell someone where I'm going. My location is on, like, my brother who I work with always knows, like, if I'm meeting a client I don't know. I try to vet them as much as possible. Like, if they are like a cold lead, like, I'll make sure that, you know, their email address is correct, or like I look them up online just to be extra careful. One thing that I do, I watch a lot of true crime documentaries, so I might be a little bit crazy. But like, even when I'm showing a house, I won't give my back to someone. Like, I always put my back to the wall and like usher them in to the room. Certain basements, like if I'm already getting a weird vibe, like I've had people say like, can you come into the cantina with me? And I'm like, no, like, you can look at it yourself.
I walk behind people. Like when they're like, go in front of me, I'm like, I'm going to stay behind. Like, you walk in front of me because I don't want them to hit me in the back of the head. That's like the thought.
This is true. It's scary. You have to think about that. But it's so true.
And working in
it's
Toronto,
scary
like,
enough for like us to come out of our shells on social media. And our marketing division with Joseph Tito leading it and David right behind him had to kick us out of our shells and totally change our strategy and getting out on camera, doing a lot of the video stuff, and that authenticity is what works for us in a big way, and we love them for that. We love them for that, and we tip our hat to them day in, day out. But you know, this is something that we didn't have to worry about. It wasn't even on our mind. That wasn't another layer of, you know, having to deal with when breaking out of the shell. So good on you girls for just, you know, having that extra layer of safety and being aware of that. It's hard enough to come out of your show and to be authentic on the social platforms, but then to add that to the mix, it's just another barrier that I could see stopping a lot of females from wanting to cross, right? So,
it's unfortunate that females have to deal with this, because I work with a lot of male realtors that don't experience prank calls and like hateful messages. So
yeah, it's not even a thought. It wasn't even a thought before you guys went
didn't
into
want to be out there on social media.
Like, whoa, you know what
but
I mean? That's
I'll be honest with you, it's given me such strength.
Yeah.
And it's made me grow in ways that I never thought. Like nothing phases me anymore.
Right.
Yeah, you become a lot more resilient for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, you can't let it get to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's what I
either
tell
where you either
people.
shy down from or you step up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
From,
Yeah.
Even like on our
You're
team.
growing that thicker skin, right?
Yeah.
Whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Kind of thing.
Exactly,
So it just
yeah.
gears you up to be that much more of an animal in a good way, right?
6 out of 9 people on our team are male. And when I show them like the comments I get or the message I get, they're like, no way. I'm like, yeah, I have to prove it to them because sometimes they don't even believe me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on the same page. I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
And I want to talk a bit about the event you put together and what you have going on and why you wanted to support the cause of that and providing that to the community.
Yeah, it was kind of just like watching my worlds come together. I did karate as a kid. And then I used to teach karate. It's my first job. Royal LePage has the Royal LePage Shelter Foundation, which raises money for violence against women and prevention programs and things like that for women and children. And I thought, what a better way to kind of bridge that gap. I run an annual fundraiser that's a self-defense class. It's female focused. All of our sponsors are women-owned businesses. It's just once a year. I'm going to try to make it more frequent. Eventually, we're getting there.
Yeah.
But it's a great event, and 100% of the proceeds go to the Royal LePage Shelter Foundation.
That's awesome.
Good on you, Sue.
So cool.
So for obviously now you guys are rock stars. It's trending in pop culture. You guys are doing great, and again, leading and at the forefront of the Toronto real estate market. Any one big tip and advice from each of you to any new female young realtors that want to get into the business? What's that one piece of advice that you'd give them?
I'm the type of person that needs to be one step ahead. So when I was studying at Oria to get my license, I built a business plan way before I got my RICO license. And I basically built a brand even before I was licensed. So you really should be one step ahead at all times. You need to self-educate yourself about the market. Majority of people do not do that. You need to know what's going on in the market. You're helping investors, first-time home buyers. You can't be feeding them false information, which is the issue also now with social media, because you have people who are licensed for a short period of time that are giving people bad advice, and they're influencers technically, right? So you have to be really careful with what you say as well.
Right. So hit 2 birds with 1 stone, build brand and a business plan, have that coincide with the education.
Build your business plan even way before. Know exactly what your next move is at all times. That's just my advice. And I got Rookie of the Year in my first year. So
Definitely worked.
yes.
Yeah.
For me, it's like, everyone says I love people. That's why I became a realtor. But like, really learn to love people
Yeah.
and
All
connect
people,
with
like
people.
everyone.
Yeah,
All
learn
personality
to love
types.
people and learn how to connect. It's like if you don't have that ability to connect, if you are not good at picking up cues or at listening to what people are actually sharing, because people will say something, but there's something behind it, right? Usually, if you're not good at that, get good at that.
Yeah.
Because that will help you immensely, I think, to like build your network, help people, and just like bring the value.
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
advice.
And patience.
Yeah.
You need to be a patient person.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily a patient person, so that was a tough one for me. But patience is definitely key. Consistency is key. My biggest piece of advice would be just start. Like a lot of people I think are always waiting.
Right.
Yeah.
Just start. You have to start somewhere. And when you do start, find a mentor, whether it's a team, whether it's a good brokerage that's great with new agents, someone to guide you, because it's overwhelming and it is nothing like selling Sunset.
Nothing.
Couldn't be farther off.
We don't have that luxury market here, unfortunately.
No, not
The
quite.
only $20 million houses you're seeing is the Bridal Path, and they're selling for way less. So. Full disclosure.
Shots fired.
We had the pleasure of working with all 3. So talk a little bit about your experience working with your financing arm, Spark Financial Group, what that means for your client to have that kind of financial expert in their corner as well, an educated and sharp realtor.
I'm really big on time and communication, and you guys are incredible because you have a step-by-step process that I value so much. I'm the type of person that needs to be kept in the loop at all times.
Absolutely.
You CC me in emails, you call me a few times a week, and my clients love you guys, and I have 0 complaints. I had to get rid of so many mortgage brokers before, and you guys have always referred me to great lawyers as well. So I'm really happy that I met you guys.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You added a lot of value into my business.
Amazing.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Of course.
I think for myself, what I love about you guys is you bring the fun and the energy.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important because like what we do, it can get really heavy.
Yeah.
So it feels fun and it's, you know, it's like a family vibe that I think is, again, so important to have. And I feel taken care of, actually. So that's like a really, really big key factor in choosing any professionals I work with.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You guys are so fun.
I was going to say the fun thing too, because it is like, it's a heavy thing, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people are scared
Yeah.
doing it because if it's a first time buyer, they're a little nervous. You guys take that edge off, which is great.
Yeah.
My clients are like my babies. So to hand them off to someone is a big deal,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So like, I know when I hand them off to you guys, they're in good hands. That education piece is really important to me because, again, I work with a lot of first time buyers, or not even first time buyers, people who haven't sold in 10, 20 years. And the process is like brand new to them.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys educate them throughout the whole thing. You keep them in the loop too, like you keep us in the loop.
Yeah.
But then also that you guys are always available. Like I'm working 24 hours, so I know that when I pick up the phone, I call either of you. You pick up my call always.
Even at night.
Yeah.
Even at night, you guys are always there. Knowledge is power at the end of the day, and you guys like provide a lot of value, and that's so important to me. You guys are so smart, and it makes me look good, and my clients feel good, and I always worry about them because you can't make a deal happen without the financing. So we're a team at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I respect you guys a lot.
Absolutely.
And when I need you, you're there.
Always.
Always.
Always. We always will be.
I love you guys.
You guys are the backbone of our business, and we say that day in, day out, right? And the amount of leads that you guys send in and conversations that we get to have with your clients, and the way that you guys talk about us in the market is the same way that we talk about you, and have all the respect in the world for you guys. So thank you.
I don't respect every mortgage broker, but I definitely respect you guys.
No, it's genuine and it's authentic, and the
trust
clients
me.
can
Totally.
definitely tell.
Yeah.
You know?
You guys are incredible.
Thank you.
In a nutshell.
In a nutshell. The best contact in the mortgage game. In a nutshell.
And I love the socials too. Love it.
We got to blame.
It's amazing.
The best team, best social team.
Yeah.
So good.
Everyone.
So good.
All of you guys.
Well, mortgages are boring, so we just want to make them fun.
Yeah. 100%.
You guys make it fun. Definitely spicing it up.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, and thank you again for coming out today. We really appreciate it.
It's been a
And
slice.
thank you everyone for tuning in. Be sure to check us out next week. Coming up on What Would It Cost?
What we find very often is we'll have a private lender put some money in, 100,000, 200, 300,000, and often they're in second position, their second mortgage. One of the golden rules that I apply in my practice when it comes to protecting a lender, especially in secondary position, is you always want to stay in the driver's seat. And what I mean when I say that is if the first goes in default as well, the odds are much better for you to, and of course it's all depending on the situation, but the general rule is you want to be able to take that enforcement yourself. And often to do that, you have carrying costs. You got to pay the monthly payment on the first. You got to pay taxes that are often in arrears. It's an important consideration, not only that you qualify the amount that's being advanced, but also that there's additional money there in case there is a default to protect their interest. Right, as the expression goes, you're in for a penny in for a pound.
Is that what you do as a broker? You actually, on the intake, actually then discuss what happens at the end process if things don't work out?
100%. You have to discuss this with the clients.